Rick here again, this time reporting from sunny Las Vegas, where we have just completed the second half of our training program, the remedial training. The first half we did in Phoenix. We reported from there. So this is my second chance to do a field report. How exciting! Not the kind of thing I'm usually good at. But today we finished up our complete list, our completed targeted training list. Yesterday I was really afraid we weren't going to make it, but we put the pedal to the plastic. Today we worked hard and we got it done. Everybody's exhausted, but in a fulfilling kind of way. So everybody's happy. And it's been my privilege to be the instructor for this group because these guys are really highly skilled in their own current aspect of the business, and they know good training when they see it. They appreciate the instruction. Some of the comments were that just to be told to do something or not do something really didn't help them to understand what they were doing. But they felt so much happier when we did explain the science and the reasons for the method and how it benefited. And now they fully understood the whole depth and width of the procedures that we embarked on. So that was nice to hear back, that they appreciated that so much. So everybody's happy with the training. Now this video is important for me because in a way this will document the fact that the company that arranged for the original training has stepped up and made everything good. And they've done it in a big way. So I'm glad they called upon me to do it. This is my first time consulting with this company. I'm glad they knew to arrange for me to fix the situation for them. And after all, that's what I do. I fix stuff. I fix what's broken. So I wanted to also include an update on training because I promised you a trainee a couple of months ago would make a certain color right. And I've got a picture, as we mentioned, of his very first repair. This trainee's very first repair, as we had mentioned, was going to be on this seat that someone else in the business had already repaired, and it had failed. And the color was not even anywhere near close. So the challenge then was for this trainee to do his very first repair and to correct these situations. So he fixed the seat nicely, came out really nice. And an interesting thing about the color on this seat, he started with 145 brown. And I asked him, how does that differ from the seat color? And he said it looked too light to him. So my question is, how are you going to darken the value? And he said dark brown. I said, okay. So he went back to the van and added some dark brown. And when he came back, he had the color exactly. It was dead on target. So that was nice to see his very first repair stepping up to do what someone else in the business could not do. So I promised you that he would do it, and it took him about 1 minute to make the color, and it wasn't a color match at all, was it? It was a value match, and that got him there. So that's our update on that trainee. Of course, let me show you the first repair that the group in Phoenix did. We had our very first repair was a vinyl repair, and this happened to be the seat that we had. We didn't have any choice initially because we wanted to get it right busy, and certainly this was a good seat to try various techniques on, especially for first-time students. As we have to notice in this picture, we have this brittle vinyl which curls up, and of course that creates a spring action. If we try to repair over the spring, then it'll keep popping up, won't it? It'll keep interfering. And those lines will forever be in our repair. So this was a good opportunity to demonstrate what we've mentioned on this channel already, that we need to break the spring energy of this brittle vinyl. And so on doing that, they found out that the rest of the repair went smoothly. And interestingly, the very first repair they did, they used a new vinyl repair process, which includes reinforcing with plastic. And we have the final picture of that too, and this is their final repair. We had 3 students working on this. See, each of them did a third, and there's the end result. Not too bad for the first time. I give them high marks. Now, the same class had a request about the Dodge Charger door panel. We didn't have that on the list as a targeted item, but as a vehicle specific kind of thing. But we found a Dodge Charger where the vinyl was separated on the door panel and raised up like they all do. So we took the door panel off and we got it into the shop. But to our dismay, the previous repair technician had put a bunch of super glue gel into it, and now it was impossible to wrap around and staple it as we intended. So this was a good example of how a poor repair can prevent the real technician from repairing. So let's just say that the technician charged $150 for a proper door panel repair. Well, what's the result of that? Well, the dealer's behind $150, but then when the customer goes to buy the car, the customer wants the door panel repaired. Well, you can't. Too late. So the dealer will have to buy a new door panel. I don't know exactly what they cost. I think they're about $600, whatever, $600 plus installation. So what is this door panel repair worth? It's way in the negative hundreds of dollars, right? So we can't compare pricing on repairs. We can't compare. There's no standard by which everybody follows for a repair, right? This repair is worth negative. Whereas if I repaired it, I might charge $150, and it's done right. So we just can't compare pricing on repairs when there's no standard. Everything isn't repaired with super glue. Now, to some people it is. Put super glue on it, spray it, and they're done. But I offer you a challenge. Put the super glue home. Leave the super glue at home for a whole year. What are you going to find? Creativity. Your mind will start working. That was my challenge decades ago, and I swore off of super glues for a whole year. And I discovered real ways to repair things. I had to figure it out. And what was the total end result after a year? Well, I found out that some repairs did require super glues. So you've seen me on this channel from time to time use some super glues, very specifically for specific repairs where it is indeed called for. But other than that, we set it aside and we come up with a real lasting repair method. Super glues don't do the trick all the time. Since we weren't able to fix that particular door panel, I sent to the class some pictures of this door panel that I had to repair within a couple of days of getting back home. And this was one, of course, where we could heat the vinyl, wrap it around the plastic, staple it thoroughly so it would hold. And then, of course, they needed to see how we finished it off. And the way I finish these off now is the way that Mike had recommended to me. And we posted that on this channel previously, and we interviewed Mike, and he suggested using this 1/2-inch self-adhesive foam over top of the staples. Now, the self-adhesive part of it doesn't work very well at all, of course, but what I did is put super glue gel over the staples and then embedded this particular foam right onto the gel and let that cure by itself. And the end result is that it makes a perfect trim finish that looks like it might be factory when viewed from any angle on that door. So a very nice finish indeed. So the same class took really short lunches. We worked every day from 7 in the morning until 5:30. We worked right straight through extra time. And the importance of this is that in 3 days' time, we actually ended up with more than 4 days worth of training hours. We got more than an extra day in because they all agreed they're all grown men and they're going to put their nose to the grindstone and get it done. And so good for them, and it was good results. But anyway, we took a short lunch break one day, and they suggested In-N-Out. I had never been to In-N-Out because I never eat at fast food restaurants, but this was pretty good. The burger was really good, and then these fries were something extraordinary. You can see some fried onion in there and some melted cheese and something like a Thousand Island dressing or something. I don't remember exactly what that was. Yeah, my very first In-N-Out experience right there with that group of guys. Now, the next class in Las Vegas, we need to highlight their first repairs too. And we didn't get a before picture, but we got this picture, which was again a great big hole in the seat, and we had to even that thing out, and we used also on this one the reinforced plastic vinyl repair method, which we, of course, we haven't shown on this channel yet, but we will get to it. And so this is the very first step. This is what we would call our base repair. And on top of the base repair, they were practicing getting some texture in there. And you can see a really heavy, pronounced texture in this one. So they were liking that they could get that texture in the vinyl like that. They never dreamed that they could fix such a big hole and that it could be so strong and that it could be blended in with the texture like this. At the same time, too, we taught that you need to cover the plastic with the green masking tape because as we're heating this repair area, if we touch that heated plastic with a tool or even with a grain pad, we're going to mark the plastic. And now we're going to we will have created for ourselves another job. And we don't want to fix plastic too. So we're going to save ourselves a lot of work by protecting that plastic. Also, it's already protected when you get ready to either wipe the color in or spray it in. In fact, in this panel, we ended up wiping the color into the whole panel anyway. So, but then you don't have any overspray or any overwipe, you could say, on the plastic. And we know that it may not be visible initially that that's a problem, but as time goes on, that plastic with the peeling color on it doesn't look good at all. And that will about wrap it up with our final field report from sunny Las Vegas.